Hey there! Welcome to day 24. How to use soap to wash our dirty minds, our dirty, filthy minds. Well, you might not think you have a dirty mind, but guess what? Every single one of us, all of us humans, we have some dirty thoughts, meaning stinky thoughts, stinking thinking, whatever you call it. We have some mental capacity and thoughts that don't serve us. Now, over the last 23 days, we have covered challenges. We have covered change, and the soap framework with respect to, and I gave an example of how to apply it physically, with physical aspect of our life. I gave an example of how to do it financially. How do we apply it to the financial aspects of our life? And then relationships. How do we apply it to our relationships? And I've used different examples than I've used in the past. This is actually the third time I've done over a 30-day challenge, the Get Up and Go challenge, this year already. Started in March, actually started in April 1st. I think it created this page March 31st and started the challenge April 1st. So April 1st through 30th, I did it once, and it was definitely a different format than the June to July 40 plus day challenge. And then this month, the month of August, it's been slightly different. It's been a lot different each time. But I wanted to go through a day at a time each of the steps of the soap model. Now, that got us through 3 of the 7 areas of our life that are really, really important. And I thought, okay, last time I'm thinking, well, what do I want to do for the rest of the challenge? What do I really want to do to help you really, really get this into your being and into your subconscious level as a process? Because it's just a cycle or process. We talked about the quality process yesterday, which is really the change process, which is really how do you deal with challenges. And I forgot to give you an action item. I hope that you just took the day to relax, recharge your batteries, and understand the whole process and how you can apply it to your life and the power of applying it to your life. Because when you have processes and systems that make things automatic for your life just works out. It works out better and easier. And you don't have to think about it. You don't have to worry about it. You don't have to have all those emotions that draw your attention unnecessarily sometimes. But today, let's talk about, and so I decided, let's talk about, for the next 4 days, the 4 areas we haven't gone into. And we're going to go really fast through a soap, and we're going to do all 4 steps of the process with an example. For today, we'll do mental, and then tomorrow we'll do emotional, and then what else do we have? We've got spiritual, and we've got contribution. So for the next 4 days, I will just give a quick example, and we'll talk about and go through. And I want to show you that it doesn't have to take a long time to apply this in your life. It actually becomes instantaneous. So challenge comes up, you deal with it. I had a big challenge come up last week, and everybody else was freaking out about it. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm not going to freak out about it. What does this mean to me? What am I going to do? The soap framework, it just automatically went to work in me. It's like, all right, what's the situation? What do I want it to be? What are all my possibilities? What are my options? What am I going to do about it? What action am I going to take? And then what do I need to do going forward? And how can I continue to make progress to move toward what I want? It just is automatic. So as there was a family situation, as the family's freaking out, I'm like, okay, boom, bam, knew exactly what I needed to do, did it, and resolved the situation in a way that didn't feel horrible to me. It actually felt good. And it's automatic now. So I want to get and help you get to that point as well. So today, let's take our mental well-being. It's a Monday, so let's call it Mental Monday. And we're going to look at and talk about how do we apply the SOAP framework to our thinking, to our mindset, our beliefs, our thoughts. Guess what? It is impossible, and I might have said this before, I don't remember, but supposedly scientists have figured out that the average human being has 80,000 thoughts a day. Now, let me ask you something. Have you ever tried to do positive thinking on yourself? Guilty. Affirmations, all kinds of things. There's all kinds of things that we do to try to think positive. Oh, if I just have more willpower, I can think positive. This won't bother me anymore. Bullpucky, it probably will. It'll probably drive you crazy until you figure out how to really deal with it. Now, we all have lots of mental baggage. And, if you're over 2 years old, you probably have a lot of mental baggage already. I think they say that we get our foundational thought process before the age of 5. And I haven't done a lot of deep brain work. I've done a lot of studying over my decades here on the planet, But like everybody else, I go down the trails that are of interest to me. And frankly, the deep functioning of my brain is probably something I should have studied, but I really have not. Biology and things. I at one point wanted to be a doctor. It makes me laugh now, but hasn't really been the area of study I've gone. I've gone down more the emotional, mental, positive thinking path and personal development with respect to personal development. So we all are filled with all kinds of thoughts about our past, who we are, we think we can be, what we think is possible for us, and all of that, all of our excuses, all of our past experiences, all of our beliefs. Guess what? They're all things that we chose and made up about ourselves. So what are some of the most common ones? I don't deserve. I'm not good enough. I don't know. How many times do we tell ourselves we don't know? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what to do. Oh my God, I used to be so guilty of that. And every once in a while, I will catch myself hearing, there'll be a situation and my subconscious will say, well, you don't know. I just don't know. And I'm like, seriously? And that's one I've tried to shove down for a long, long time. You know, anything we say about life, about ourselves, about other people, people are blank. I can't. Anytime we say I can't, anytime we say anything about how we think other people think or feel or respond to us, it's all our interpretation through our filter, through our mental thoughts and filter, and a lot of them feeding up from our subconscious continuously. And it's almost all BS. It's almost all lies. And it's almost all not true. So let's pick one of these. Let's run through the SOAP framework on it and see if we can't knock it out and at least make some improvement in it just quickly right here, right now. So let's take I can't. I actually personally hate the phrase I can't because my dad taught me when I was a little girl, there's no such thing as can't. And I might say, I don't know what to do right now because I can't figure it out, or I can't see what I'm supposed to do, or whatever. But we say, I still am guilty of I can't. So let's pick an I can't. I can't see to drive. That's a good one because I literally cannot see to drive. I haven't driven for about 2 years now because my vision has gone down the toilet for a lot of reasons, a lot of things that have gone on with my health and my life, but I can't see well enough to drive anymore. So I can't see well enough to drive means I can't go where I want when I want, and I don't have the freedom to at least not take myself there, drive there. What do I want? I want to be able to go where I want when I want. So my situation is I can't. And that's a mental thing, right? Now, I actually could drive. I have a driver's license. I choose not to because it's not safe, right? I don't think that it's safe to drive around a ton or whatever cars weigh, a vehicle, if I can't see well enough to function and do it. So I took myself out of the driving game 2 years ago. I guess it's over 2 years ago now, 2.5 years ago. 2.5 years ago. And I will still catch myself saying to my granddaughter or my son or somebody else, oh, I can't drive. Well, guess what? No, that's true. That is my current situation. I can't drive. But does that have to mean that I can't go where I want, when I want, with whomever I want, wearing what I want? Because I certainly can. But I say I can't because I can't drive. So is that a fact or is that truth? It's my current truth. But it's really, I don't choose to drive because I don't think it's safe. So that's the situation. But I still want to go where I want, when I want, and I want to be able to get there, in a sort of timely manner. So that's the situation. S, that's our S. That's the story. The story I'm telling you about myself is I can't go where I want, when I want, because I can't drive. Is that true? Absolutely positively not. Because our O is about what are our options? What are the other possibilities? What are other ways to get from where I am to where I want to go? Well, there's like infinite ways to get from where I am to where I want to go. But if I brainstorm just some of them, how about Uber? How about Lyft? How about a taxi cab? How about friends or family or other people that can drive? How about if I bike? Well, I don't bike either because, that would be unsafe as well. But I can walk, right? I walk a ton of places. I've been walking. I've probably walked more in 2 years than people have in their entire lives because number one, I like to walk. It's good for me. Number two, you can walk almost anywhere, right? You can get almost anywhere nowadays. So I have options, and obviously I've been getting around for the last couple of years, so I figured some of those things out. But the big mental game is that I can't go where I want, when I want, and do what I want because I can't see to drive. So part of the mental game is realizing that, and going through the SOAP process totally highlights and enlightens and illuminates the fact that what I'm believing is just something that I'm believing. It's not really true. And I do that by asking myself better questions, right? And maybe that's part of the A, is action and picking what I'm going to do. Well, I can just ask myself better questions and actually apply one of the options that I have brainstormed in the O, looking at different possibilities of the process. Then P is I can set an appointment. I can figure out what I'm going to do. So say I want to go to the store and get some groceries. Now, we're not going to the store very much and getting groceries, and there's other solutions to that too, right? But say I want to go to the store today, and so I asked my sister if she can give me a ride to the grocery store. So guess what? My sister's giving me a ride to the grocery store. That's why this is an easy example. And we go to the store, I get what I want, I go where I want, when I want, because I asked. Now, for some of us, asking is a monumental challenge because we think we should have to do everything ourselves. Is that mental belief, that mindset, I have to do everything myself, we can do the same thing. We can do the SOAP with that as well. And you can play through these really, really quickly. It's taken me longer to talk about how to apply it than I could actually do this and have done this in my life. So in the P, our progress, am I making progress? Did I get to the store? Did I get the groceries I want? Absolutely, positively. So I'm making progress. So that worked out really well. Asking my sister if she could take me to the grocery store. So couldn't I set up a regular appointment or schedule a time every week to go to the store with my sister? Hey, every Monday afternoon at 1 o'clock, let's go to the store. Could you drive me to the store? And if that works with her schedule and works with my schedule, I've now put a process to make progress in place to make sure that I can go to the store or wherever else I want every week on a regular basis. And I can make that automatic so I don't ever have to think about it or worry about it or fret about it again. So that's a very lumpy, on-the-fly example of how I can apply the SOAP framework to something that I'm thinking about or a limiting belief that I have about myself and my life and what I'm capable of just on the fly. Like I said, it actually goes faster in my brain and applying it in my life than it does to think about it and talk about it consciously, step by step by step by step. I want to give an example of that. So if you have any of that thinking, and I'm pretty confident that somewhere in anybody's brain and everybody's brain, we have some of this, these thoughts and beliefs and feelings. I'm too old, I'm too fat, I'm too slow, I'm too short. I thought I was too short to do stuff for decades. I don't deserve, I'm not good enough. Those are the most common core false beliefs that people have. I don't deserve, I'm not good enough, I don't know, I'm not anything enough, I can't, I won't, I shouldn't, I couldn't possibly, nobody cares what I think or do, yada, yada, yada. The list is endless. But if every time you hear one of those popping up in your head, you run it through the SOAP model filter, it's amazing how quickly you realize that it is indeed a false belief, that the thinking is just crazy, and we can use SOAP to wash that out of our dirty little heads, because anything that we think like that, number one, it's not true, so we're telling ourselves lies, and then we're finding evidence to make it believable to us, because that's what our subconscious does. But it also holds you back, it holds me back from showing up in the world in ways that I'm meant to show up, that you're meant to show up. So love to know what you think about this. Today, our action item is to just notice one negative or stinking thought or dirty mind thing that pops up in your life today. And I challenge you to run it through the SOAP framework and see if you can't find a way to make it work out better for you. And again, share in the comments below. I'd love to hear your stories about this. Number one, could you do it? Did you remember to do it? Did it work for you? Where did you get hung up? Where did you struggle? A lot of times, I'll be honest, I get stuck in the S. I get stuck in the story I'm telling myself, and instead of reinforcing what I want, I get stuck in the where I am right now. That's the biggest challenge for me. But I'm learning and getting better and better and better at it every time I practice, every time I do it, every time I notice and remind myself, oh, and then I just make sure that I come out with a better outcome. All right, that's our challenge for today. We will talk about an emotional example tomorrow. I don't know what it's going to be yet. I haven't thought of it, but I'll think of something and I'll run through it, and it'll probably make me feel crazy because it's hard to share some of this stuff with people, you know, especially the things about my vision. It's one of those that does pull up emotional things that I don't talk about very often. So I don't think I'll use that tomorrow, but I'll think of something. If you have suggestions about what you'd want to hear, an example of going through the SOAP model, the SOAP framework, about emotional aspects of our life, hit me up in the comments below with that too. Have an absolutely amazing day. So excited to have you with me. Remember, in the units section of the Get Up and Go Challenge private group, there's units. There's 4 units in there. There's the April 30-day challenge, all the videos and lessons from that. There's the June-July 40-day Get Up and Go challenge, all the lessons for that in order. And then there's a unit of the pre-work before we came into this challenge, because I want to keep doing things every day. So that's just like, I think, 10 or 14 topics of just big, giant, biggest lessons I've learned in my life, and just a bit about those each day. And then, of course, the August, this month's challenge, all of the days are in there. So you just happen to be joining us, you can pop in there and you can actually see them in order, and you can pick up and learn a lot. We're going really deep on the whole SOAP framework, because I know how powerful it's been in my life, and I want to make sure that you have that in your toolbox as well. Have an amazing day. I will, of course, be with you tomorrow. Bye. Go wash out your dirty mind.